Joining us via satellite from New York with their attorney, Joe Tacopina. So, folks, thanks so much for being here. Let me start out by asking you, Deb, you guys haven't done any talking about this for the last 90 plus days. Tell me why.
Well, we wanted them to be able to investigate, things to quiet down, have some leads looked into, and then when we were ready to, if they were going to be exhausted or nothing came of them, then we started doing media again, so that's why.
All right. During that time, did anything come up that has shed new light? Is there anything that we don't know that during that 90 days did in fact develop?
Yes, but I'm not going to speak about it.
Dr. Phil, I could enlighten you a little bit on that. There were a lot of people coming forward, and there were some substantial leads that were developed, including three, and I said repeat, three witnesses who saw an individual in the area walking around various parts of that suburb of Kansas City with a baby in a diaper and nothing more at midnight, at 2 in the morning, at 4 in the morning. Mm-hmm. Independent, absolutely credible witnesses who don't know the family or anyone else made three independent sightings, and to me that is powerful evidence that there is leads that are out there that need to be followed.
All right, now, and let's talk about these sightings that you're talking about. I understand that at least one of those, there's actually videotape of a person walking, and it was 45 degrees out, and I believe one of these sightings was a person in just a shirt and pants carrying a baby. No coat, no blankets, not anything, and 45 degrees out. Is that true?
That's accurate. It's a direct trajectory away from the house. The first sighting was around, a little after midnight, close by to Deb and Jeremy's house. Then we see that videotape around 2 in the morning by a gas station, which is a little further away, but it's also near a wooded area right behind the gas station where you see that individual disappearing to. Okay. Very nearby a dumpster where there was a fire that night and scorched baby clothes were in. Then a little further down the road, about 2 hours later, Mike Thompson, another individual witness, driving, sees a man matching the same description as the individual by the Irwin home, carrying a baby with just a diaper on. I mean, that is, Dr. Phil, I've been a prosecutor, defense lawyer. That is pretty powerful evidence that there are answers out there.
So your theory is that these three sightings are very likely the same person, and they're in a trajectory away from the house that at a walking pace would have put these people in position A, B, and C, moving away from the home, and with an eyewitness saying they had a baby in their arms.
Multiple eyewitnesses, that's right.
Okay, right, three different eyewitnesses, okay. Jeremy, what's your theory about what happened here?
All I know is that someone came into our house and took her for some reason, and all I know is that she's still out there somewhere.
And how is the community treating you two as a couple at this point? Are they supportive? Are they suspicious?
It's a little bit of both. There's a lot of people that are coming forward and helping, supporting, etc. There's also a lot of people that are out there and don't have a lot of information and make ridiculous accusations. But
it's been reported that police have tried to get the two of you to interview separately from each other. Has this happened yet?
Not only has it happened, it's happened repeatedly. 5 times. We've totaled it. It's about 40 hours of interviews, both separate and apart. They've asked every question twice and 3 times. They have no other information, and they've repeatedly given the same information to authorities. And here's the problem. We're working both with the FBI and local law enforcement involved as well. And I don't know how well those two organizations are working together. The feds have been very open with us. FBI has done, I think, a good job in trying to track down, eliminate certain things. But, the Kansas City PD have not been, open with this family. I mean, it's okay for law enforcement to start with Deb and Jeremy as suspects, if you will, by looking at them. But to jump to conclusions within an hour without having any information, I'm not going to let them sit prey to some,
well, of course.
Accusation.
Well, of course,
session.
I understand. And this is exactly why I want to ask these questions, because if there's misinformation out there, then you're clearing it up in a major way here. So
And that's why they're here. That's why they're here today, by the way.
Well, but
This
they're
is the
not
first time they've
talking.
spoken.
But they're not talking. You're talking.
Well,
So,
because you're asking certain questions,
okay,
Dr.
and I
Phil, that
understand.
we've decided are going to be handled by me. Now, if your producer had a problem with that, they knew we were here.
No, we wanted you to be here, but I do want to know what they have to say about the situation as well. And I'm curious, at this point, Deb, Jeremy, do y'all feel that you've gotten a fair shake from the Kansas City Police Department?
No, I don't.
So you think they jumped to conclusions about you in the beginning, as your attorney points out?
Yeah, and there's nothing but misinformation out there. That's all there is. There is nothing but theories and accusations, and I mean, the internet, there's just people making outright lies that they've seen me do this or seen me here. I mean, it just became a circus, and it's not a joke. It is not a circus. It is not a game. This is my baby.
All right, well, listen, that's exactly what I want us to talk about, because those things that are out there that are misinformation, and, Joe, you've been on both sides of these situations, that's nothing but distraction. And if they're going down the wrong road, then that means they're not going down the right road. And what we want is to find this precious child. Most parents say they would do anything to find their child. So why have Lisa's parents been accused of being uncooperative with police? What really happened on the night of October 3rd? I have some serious questions, and I want some serious
of debate over cadaver dogs and exactly what they bring to a case like that of Lisa Irwin, reported missing 3 weeks ago now. It was the issue discussed on Good Morning America today, and KMBC 9's Maria Antoni is at the relatives' home on Wall Run where Lisa's parents have been staying. Maria?
Kelly, seems to be an ongoing issue what the dog picked up, not at this home, but at the family's home on Lister. Now, the search warrant, this one says the cadaver dog indicated, and I'm going to read exactly what it says, a positive hit for the scent of a deceased human. That was on the floor of the parents' bedroom. But today on GMA, Joe Tacopino, the attorney for Lisa Irwin's parents, disputed that. Here's what he had to say.
It's not they picked up a scent of a dead body. That's not what a cadaver dog does. I've consulted with the top cadaver detection dog expert in the country, and what they do is the cadaver dogs, while they're very useful, they detect decomposing human remains. They detect any decomposition of human remains, and what that could include, I've come to learn, is fecal matter, you know, the sort of things you find in a baby's diaper, toenail clippings, things of that nature. So decomposition of human remains could be a host of things, and that's why these dogs, while very important, they're investigatory by nature. They're not evidentiary by nature. In other words, you don't hook your case on a dog wagging his tail in a bedroom.
Now, we also found an expert, a dog trainer with a law degree, a medical degree. He's also one of 3 deputy chief medical examiners for the state of Maine, and he helped write the Cadaver Dog Handbook. Now, here's part of what Dr. Edward David says. Dogs are trained to detect odor of decomposition. Only the handler can say what the dog's alert means. If a diaper is soiled enough and left on the floor long enough for fluids and cells to migrate to the floor, that is something a dog might detect, because human waste does carry cells that decompose. But Dr. David also says an overall well-trained, certified dog is 70% accurate. Other times there may be no odor to detect. And he adds a dog detecting the odor of decomposition is evidentiary, not just what Tacopino calls investigatory. Kelly, Dr. David even goes on to say the term often used for such dogs is cadaver evidence dogs. Back to you.
Interesting. Thank you, Maria. Now, as the search for baby Lisa enters its 3rd week, we did want to take a look at some of the major developments in this case so far. On October 4th, Lisa's father says he came home from work at 4 a.m. and found her missing from her crib. Several searches were performed, but nothing was found. A week later, an anonymous benefactor brought in a private investigator from New York to help. New York defense attorney Joe Tacopina announced he was representing the family, and local attorney Cindy Short confirmed she is also working the case. Police have cleared more than 700 leads in this case so far, but none have led to baby Lisa. If you have any information in this case, police are urging you to call the TIPS hotline at the number on your screen, 816-474-TIPS.
What happened to little baby Lisa Irwin? She's the 10-month-old who simply vanished 5 years ago.
And her parents recently sat down with our investigative reporter, Angie Racono.
Brad and Ellen, the Irwins still live in the same home. And as we showed you at 6, there are posters and banners covering the house. They've never been taken down. And inside, Lisa's crib is still in her bedroom. It's packed with all the presents for the birthdays and the holidays that she has missed. 5 years. Tonight, we take a look at where the clues lead now.
She's missing. Her name is Lisa Irwin. We went around the house and we're screaming for her. I said, call 911, call 911.
Obviously, they are our main focus. I'm not calling them suspects.
What's going on? Where's she at? Why is she gone?
So now they're looking for a body and not a baby.
We all want the safe return of baby Lisa.
We need her home.
And I'm still stuck at age 1 when she liked Barney and when she was barely walking, and now she's going to be 6. And possibly in school. And we've missed out on everything.
I know you guys both firmly believe Lisa is alive and Lisa is out
Absolutely. There's not a doubt in my mind. And I'm her mom. I have my mother's intuition, and I have never once felt for a second that she is been hurt or gone.
5 years later, they still beg for information.
Think of how much she deserves to be with the people that love her the most.
Or think of yourself and take the money and leave town.
whatever it's going to take.
They think she was kidnapped, then sold.
This was not a one-person deal.
There's still a $100,000 reward in the case. Here's what happened in 2011. Jeremy Irwin returns home from work around 4 in the morning. The front door is unlocked. His daughter is missing from her crib. He wakes his wife and calls 911 from his work phone because the family's cell phones are reportedly missing. Published reports say those phones stayed close to the family home and were used throughout the night. The parents originally suspected someone came in through a front window or front door and then made their way back to Lisa's room. The phones were charging in the kitchen. Nothing else was taken. An Amber Alert was issued, and investigators swarmed the house and neighborhood searching for little Lisa. They searched wells, combed fields, and one cadaver dog reportedly smelled something in the parents' bedroom.
Try to think of anything or anyone or any reason this might have happened.
It soon became obvious investigators suspected Lisa's mother.
Did you fail a lie detector test?
No, absolutely not. I was told I failed as a tactic, and I understand why they do that.
It's still difficult to talk to them. It's difficult to hear some of their theories, and then after all that is all said and done, you still have to have a workable relationship with these guys down there at the police department.
Deborah drank with a neighbor the night her daughter vanished. That information cut both ways. Some speculated she may have accidentally killed her daughter, then hid the body. But others wondered, how could a drunk person commit the perfect crime?
Well, my gut tells me, without any doubt, that somebody unknown to the family came into this home, was in and out of the home very, very quickly.
Attorney Cindy Short represented the family in those early days and remains in close contact with them. She calls the parents credible and heartbroken.
And there's an open field beyond these trees.
Short conducted her own investigation. She explored other leads where neighbors reported seeing a man and a baby the night Lisa went missing.
Our prayer is that once the baby left this part of the community or Clay Como, that she ended up somewhere safe and warm. Statistically, that's probably not the outcome, but it's certainly the one we pray for.
One tip that became very public involved this man, John Tanko. He's a handyman with a criminal record who worked near the Irwins at that time. He dated this woman, Megan Wright, who says her phone was called by one of those missing cell phones the night Lisa vanished. Wright says others had access to her phone. Kansas City police report Tanko cooperated with investigators, and they are satisfied with his answers.
I do not believe this was a stranger abduction.
Former FBI agent Michael Tabman says kidnapping a 10-month-old doesn't make sense. Statistically, stranger abductions generally involve middle school girls, like 11-year-old JC Dugard, 12-year-old Polly Klass, and 14-year-old Elizabeth Smart. Lisa's age was tough to explain.
Why would this child at this age be disappearing now?
5 years have rolled by. Age progression photos show what she may have looked like at 3 and now 5.
If she's out there and she can see this, I would just want her to know that we love her, we miss her a great deal, and we're going to find her, and we're not going to stop looking for her.
I love you, Lisa.
We will get her back home where she belongs one of these days.
Guys, 5 years ago, Jeremy Irwin and Deborah Bradley lived every parent's worst nightmare when they discovered their 10-month-old daughter Lisa was missing from their Kansas City, Missouri home. When the police investigation failed to identify a suspect, Jeremy and Deborah were left under a cloud of scrutiny. Watch this.
I said, give me a lie detector test. I offered to take it because I wanted to show them that I had nothing to hide, that I wasn't lying. So I took it. When it was over, the FBI agent says, I think that you're a terrible mother. He said, I think you're a terrible mother, and you're lying, and you failed.
That's a preview clip from the upcoming episode of Discovery ID's People Magazine Investigates, and People senior editor Alicia Dennis is here with 3 things you need to know about the baby Lisa case. Welcome back, Alicia. Good to talk to you.
Yeah.
Let's just dive into that. It's been 5 years now since the disappearance. We still don't know what happened to baby Lisa. Let's start with her parents. We just saw Lisa's mom, Deborah, there, finding out that she had failed the polygraph test. Why did she and her husband fall under so much scrutiny?
Well, I think, first of all, one thing that's important to note is that investigators don't have to be honest with suspects about the results of a lie detector test, that they can use that to get to what they feel is the truth. And when a victim goes missing, investigations focus on those closest to that victim. And in this case, that's the parents.
Okay, so when Jeremy Irwin got home from work the night that Lisa disappeared, he discovered that the family's cell phones had apparently been stolen from the home. Were investigators ever able to track down those cell phones? How did that play out?
You know, it was so strange for them to go in and find a baby missing and then this pile of cell phones missing. And one interesting thing that happened in this case was one of the cell phones was discovered later to have made a call to a drifter who was a suspect in the case for a minute. You'll have to tune in to see what happens with that.
That is really interesting and unlikely maybe turn of events there. We have an age-progressed photo of what baby Lisa may look like today, 5 years after her disappearance. There it is. Where does the investigation stand today?
Well, we interviewed investigators who still hold out hope that it's possible that this little girl could be found. I mean, obviously that's the best case scenario, is that she's alive and that they're going to bring her home someday. And her parents are working with investigators now, and it's really such a sad thing for them where they continue to buy her birthday presents, they buy her Easter presents and Christmas presents. They have a room for her, and they just are holding on to hope that someday she'll see all this.
Yeah, we all kind of hold out hope that there's a positive ending to this story. Alicia, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you. And for more on the baby
of baby Lisa remain hopeful their missing child will soon come home.
I just picture holding her and getting to know her, letting her get to know us, and catching up, and bringing our family back together.
Today, 41 Action News sat down with baby Lisa's parents. They talked about this latest age progression photo that was released of her. Lisa was 10 months old when she disappeared from her Kansas City home back in 2011. This year, Lisa Irwin would be 7 years old. Her parents hope more people will see their daughter because she is older.
She's got to be out in public at some point. Somebody's going to see something that doesn't quite add up, and I hope that that's, what makes them make the phone call and brings Lisa home.